Welcome back to Keepin' It Comic. Tony here, talking about an early 2000s classic, World War Hulk. This wasn't a normal Hulk story. This was a war of revenge story. We have a grief-stricken Hulk coming back to Earth to start just destroying superheroes and taking revenge. And I want to get this kind of vibes-based, because a lot of stuff happened. I really hope you guys have read it, and if you haven't, this should be more or less incentivizing you to read it. But this story, it doesn't begin on Earth. It's following up the events of Planet Hulk. So the Hulk was exiled into space by the Illuminati. He was sent to nowhere in particular, crash landed on a planet called Sakaar. You might know that from Thor Ragnarok. During his time there, he became a gladiator, overthrew the ruling class, became a king, got married, and is about to be a father, and gone. No, it didn't happen because the ship that brought him there was carrying a nuclear warhead, and it just blew up, killing like millions of people, including his pregnant wife. So overcome by just rage that the Hulk had never known before. It was like a grief-built rage. He said, well, the Illuminati are definitely responsible for this. I'm gonna go rip them to pieces. He became a new Hulk. You've heard of Grey Hulk. You've heard of Mr. Fix-It, maybe, different character. He became the Green Scar, this idea of a permanent damaged monster. And he decided it's time to go back to Earth. So he assembled the loyal people around him that more or less needed to see this through, and made him his warbound, his army of just murderers and gladiators to go back to Earth and finish the problem. And no one knew it was coming, so when the massive spaceship that the planet had just careens right into New York City, and the Hulk steps out, everybody is caught with their pants down. This is a huge invasion. Hulk is surrounded by his warbound. The characters, you might know Korg and Meek, they're more Hulk characters that kind of added them into Thor Ragnarok. We're clearly there for one thing: revenge. Even the Hulk said, bring me the Illuminati or I will destroy this planet. So Iron Man, always working, kind of found a new Hulkbuster armor, said, hey, I am absolutely here to stop this. Let's talk about this. We don't know what you're doing. And that takes a good half a panel, in case you were looking for a fight between the Hulk and Iron Man. No, this isn't the Hulk. This isn't Bruce Banner's alter ego. This is a murderer. So the Green Scar is now wiping the floor with all of these heroes. Starting with Iron Man, starts ripping apart Stark Tower. The rest of the heroes are converging. He's convinced that all of them, including Professor X, were ready for it. So after he's just tearing apart New York, he's absolutely going to make a giant leap towards the Xavier Institute. He shows up, and I think the X-Men at that point was Emma Frost, Cyclops, Colossus, Wolverine, the core group. And they're like, hey man, maybe don't destroy our mansion for the 975th time this week. Didn't really work. Emma Frost, absolutely no psychic power against him. Could not even purge him. Colossus, strong, not angry Hulk strong. Cyclops, told him a story, and Wolverine, bub, and then shaved him his legs or whatever Wolverine does in his free time. None of it matters. Again, X-Mansion destroyed. Hulk is taking out everyone who could be a threat to him. That also hurts everyone who is in the Illuminati. He's also sending off his warbound to kind of cause chaos everywhere, to kind of bait the heroes to come out. And all of the journalists that are left, Daily Bugle, they know this is the end, right? So they're documenting everything. You got journalists everywhere. Civilians are running around. There's fire springing up, crime at an all-time high because, this is straight riot time. And the realization that, he just beat Iron Man up and just destroyed, the X-Mansion, which is only a feat anyone in the history of ever Marvel Comics has done. So, we should take this a little seriously. So the military, who's been planning an entire team to kind of fight this before it comes up, called the Gamma Corps, starts sending them out. Now, the Gamma Corps is a bunch of Hulk grudge holders, I guess. The only one that really know is A-Bomb. Everyone else, I think there's a guy named Prodigy, Agris, doesn't matter, because that's how effective they are. They show up, they're specifically designed to beat the Hulk, and they probably would have had a good chance at it too if this was the Hulk. It's not anymore. This is the Green Scar. This is the monster. He's not having it. So just throwing, ripping limbs off, bodying the Gamma Corps. No choice. There's no X-Men left. There's no Gamma Corps left. Stark is out of commission. We're starting to get to the point where the Hulk is Santa Claus, just checking his list and crossing off names. He knows who's been naughty. His earliest victories in this battle are just evidence to everybody. This is a problem. So now he's hunting down the rest of the Illuminati. There's a little bit of backstory about what's going on with the Warbound allies and how they're all on the same team and trying to help Hulk and get revenge for what happened. And these are people that, fought a revolution on Sakaar with Hulk. They're ride or dies for him. They knew this is going to be destruction. So we are now at the point where the Hulk is taking all of the opportunity to address the people. He's not a rage monster anymore. He's now a rage politician. Or like he's almost like a traitor in anger. He is running for office and the office is murderer. He is now addressing the public saying, okay, everybody, we're going to make this so simple. You bring me these people, I kill them, I leave you guys alone. This is the solution. As you know, you're not going to stop me. Let's just make this easy because you can't. You can't step. I'm standing on business. Let's go. This war is boiling over, and we have reached the point where Doctor Strange needs to get involved. Doctor Strange, taking the Tony Stark path, he's going to reason with them. He's going to try to explain, hey, we don't know what you're talking about. We just sent you off to a peaceful planet. Now, they don't know that he didn't end up on a peaceful planet. So Hulk just assumes they're lying, and he starts swinging. Strange is now like, all right, cool, let's start using my magic powers. Turns out, this version of Hulk isn't going to be tricked. No amount of illusions, no amount of shackles or crimson bands of Sidorak are going to do absolutely anything to him. So Strange is now like, okay, we are not ready for this. I'm going to channel some energy. I'm gonna try to figure this out. And while he does it, Hulk grabs Strange's hands and cracks him. Just, I don't know if you know this about Doctor Strange's hands, already not working too well. Hulk just crack, gone, hands destroyed. So Strange kind of gets thrown to the side because if he doesn't have his hands, can't really cast spells. Got a little bit of a problem. Strange cuts a deal with the demon. A lot of Doctor Strange's abilities in old comics, and by old I mean late 90s, early 2000s, are like cutting deals with other people more magically powered than he is. So he cuts a deal with the demon Zom, gets like 1% of Zom's power, shows back up. Just his hands have been replaced with maces, with magic maces. He is absolutely going to start throwing hands with the Hulk. He's like, 1% of this magical demon power me has to do this. And it's a fight. It's the first fight in the entire series. And it lasts about 3 pages of this comic. And I'll put them up here for you to see, because it's not a good fight. The Hulk's like, oh man, okay, so dodge and then punch, just crushes him. About to kill. He hasn't killed anybody yet. He kind of wants this to be a public execution. So like Iron Man's in a cage. Professor Xavier, I think he just put him in a regular chair, making him useless. Doctor Strange is like broken in 4 pieces. He's like, I gotta collect a couple more of these guys. So finally we get to the World Breaker. You might have heard that name before. This is the version of the Hulk that has grabbed all of the guys he needs to make evident, like he needs to make an example out of. So he brings them to Madison Square Garden. He put a moonroof in it with his fist, so now it's cameras, lights, everything. He is going to be judge, jury, and executioner for this crew. And then the Sentry shows up. If you aren't familiar with the Sentry because you're like one of the 7 people in the world who did see Thunderbolts, it's kind of like that. If you haven't, he's Marvel's Superman. Really no note for anything in terms of why or how. He's just super strong. This is the final battle. This is the entire scene of Marvel's Superman fighting like Doomsday, if you're DC guys, but just going at, this is a real fight. They're fighting space, they fight underwater. This is the one scene where you needed to know how strong the Hulk could be by putting him up against an indestructible God-Man, and then the God-Man is kind of on his back foot for most of the fight. The eventual conclusion of this fight, which I'm going to say for you to read or look at the pictures here, kind of already leveled Manhattan. The Hulk is now capable of destroying the planet. He is threatening to just punch a hole in Earth so much that it cracks in half. And during that fight, it is revealed that the bomb that went off was not originally part of the ship. It was Meek, one of the Warbound, causing it, believing that the Hulk was not supposed to be okay. He was a destined destroyer. The details of why or how was more like, we got to finish this story. So it was Meek. Meek set off the bomb. Meek blew up the Hulk's family. Meek destroyed everything. He was not supposed to be a king or a leader. He was designed to be a murderer. And in this one moment, it was like catching your boy and your ex together. The Hulk he couldn't be angry anymore. Like he was so hurt, so betrayed that you get like the one single tear panel of the Hulk crying like, I don't know what's going on here. And is just enough for the Sentry, who was so close to trying to rip the Hulk's skull off, to be like, hey man, maybe you shouldn't blow up the Earth. And that's kind of the end, right? There's more of a sad aftermath. Hulk already did all of the stuff. Like everyone now knows like, oh, we should never make the Hulk that angry again. But there's a lot of pieces to pick up here. And now we have the end of a story that shows how strong the Hulk was, but also a lot of pieces that comic books don't really do a great job of cleaning up. Like, oh, what do we do now that the Hulk is clearly an Omega level threat? Oh, we just ignore it and move on to the next story. But that's World War Hulk, right? It was a pretty decent story of like revenge, justice, and then betrayal. And it did forever change the scope of the Marvel Universe. It set up Civil War II, another event that comes down the road because Bruce Banner can never be the Hulk again. He realizes he's losing control. And a lot of good Hulk stories. But as far as Hulk stories, this is like top 3 best ones. And if you've read it, what'd you think of it? Did I miss anything that you wanted to hear me talk about? Let me know. And hang out here for more comic recaps and deep dives into older content. Take it easy, everybody.